Ulonka tabati yada tó yẹ kó máa da ifá inú tó yẹ kó jẹun lọ́n fi bípa Ọbàtálá ọba takuntakun Ṣàngó Èṣù Ògún Ọya Ọ̀ṣun kí ni ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Alafia, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I'm your host, Orisha and we are back with another banger tribe. It's been a minute since we had one of the mothers of the movement on with us in these Ashe streets, man. But we got her back today, so I'm definitely looking forward to get this thing cracking. And before we do, shout out to the tribe, shout out to the new subscribers to the channel membership, shout out to the new subscribers to the Patreon membership. Definitely give gratitude and thanks for y'all. I just shared some information with the Patreon tribe, for some of the things that we covered on the call yesterday. And so I want to share that with y'all before we did this. But with that, without further ado, welcome to back to the program. How you been? How you been doing?
Oh, pretty good, son. I keep a low key now. I just get out here whenever you beg and plead, and everybody else beg and plead. Abdullah Babe was on the phone. I said, look, I'm on a podcast. I'll call you later.
Yes, sir. But, I know that's right.
Just here tonight for about an hour. I told you I had about an hour, and just wanted to talk about, what the title entails, and that's Black People Are Dead in Law. So restore your citizenship. I wrote this book, and I guess I better give a little bit of background so the family can understand my background. I do have a publishing company, Noble 7 Publications, Moorish Estate here in Houston, Texas. We're 6 years old. We're self-publishers, and I wanted to do that mainly because of what Noble Drew Ali said we must do as a people, and that is that we must have our own media, our own news outlets, our own schools, hospitals, etc. We haven't gotten back to that yet in 2025, but my hope is that we would. But there's a lot of underlying issues that whenever we rise, we're torn down. So I can understand the lack of us trying to get together again because of the distortion of us being successful and others are not. So with that being said, I just wanted to talk about Black people are dead in law and what that actually means. But I wanted to show you the two books that I have. And this one I ghost wrote for a friend of mine who is currently transitioned as of 2 years, but we sold almost 1,000 of these. I just wrote this year, and it hasn't come out yet. It's in the pre-sale state, but this is number 2. And that is The Pursuit of Justice. We can never forget Noble Drew Ali because it's been 120 years. Black People Are Dead in Law, Volume 2. So both of these books are out at Noble 7, buythisbooktoday.com. And I'll have my son put the website address up later. But what I wanted to talk to you about is dead in law doesn't mean that your heart has stopped beating. Black people are not, legally dead, but the state has historically, classified and labeled and, defined us in ways that removed legal personhood, nationality. That's the big one, inheritance rights, and our sovereignty. And every time we get ready to claim our nationality, what they say, oh, here's some sovereign citizens. No, that's not the sovereign that we're talking about. But this talk, I want to, let it speak to the history of, how, to restore our identity, because I think Noble Drew Ali said that if you don't do anything else, proclaim your nationality. Now, I said proclaim because that's a word that everyone must know what it means in conjunction with proclaiming our nationality. Okay, I explain all that in this book right here, and you all can go and research it for yourselves because it is a, how can I say this? It is a right that we have that you can reclaim your nationality along with our appellations, which is El Bay, Ali is a special one. There's a couple of others, but you can go and get that information and get it certified from Philadelphia. I can give you that information if anyone is interested. It means the system stopped recognizing, your life as a sovereign, your rights as divine, your name as living, because most of you know that our names are styled in what? Capital letters. All of you went to school, I'm sure. So you know that right away, our driver's license, well, it's not our driver's license, but their driver's license, if you have them, the SSN thing, everything that they send to us, bills that they say are ours that are not, but those things come in capital letters. So what does capital letters mean? It means that you are what? A corporation. Okay. And in law, to be dead does not mean, like again said, physically dead. It means you have to no recognized legal identity, no forcible rights, and no standing to claim property or to acquire inheritance. It's called civiliter mortuus. And that means you're civilly dead in the eyes of law. And if you don't believe me, you can get a Black's Law Dictionary. You can turn to page 313, and I'll read that for you. It says civiliter mortuus, civilly dead, dead in the view of the law, the condition of one who has lost his civil rights and capacities and is accounted dead in law. And it gives you the case studies underneath. And you can see that I have all of my dictionaries and everything tabbed off because I study and I research. So if you don't have a Black's Law Dictionary, you can't afford one physically, you can go online and you can get a PDF of the Black's Law Dictionary. I think the oldest one you can get is the ones that's recommended. The 5th and 6th is not recommended because they have changed some of the definitions. So in like I said, in law, you are what they call civiliter mortuus. The other things I wanted you guys to know, I wrote a note about most of you who are, well, I would say about 35, 40, you probably were living in a time when all of the names they would call us existed, such as Negro, colored, Black, and African American. Now 2 continents, that makes no sense, but okay. And they've taken, and also Indians, they called us Indians. We all know that Indians don't live over here. They live in India. But, these labels are not nations. They are conditions and classifications created by law. Okay. Even the word white people was created by law. Okay. We cannot go to the United Nations and say, oh, I'm glad I'm a Black person. Where is my land and sovereignty? They're going to laugh you right out of the building. Okay. There's no nation called Blackadonia. Okay. Let's get that straight. None. I don't know one. If anybody knows one, please email me that. Or 2 continents named African American or America, whatever you want to call it. And then another thing here too, that most people don't know, we live in a country. Okay. If you live in Texas, it's a country. If you live in Ohio, it's a country. See? And then America is a continent. It's not a state of being. We get all these things all confused. And when we talk, we have, and when I talk, I have to think a lot because I now know because of years trying to figure out what the right thing to say, I get confused. I have to stop and think, like my driver's license, no, it's not yours. Okay. Right. Yeah. So
it's conditioning. We get conditioned with subliminal seduction.
Yes, exactly. So, again, being civilly dead, we have really no rights to claim anything. So, in the Constitution, this is another thing that drives me insane. All the so-called government people, they're, people so-called elect these people. They go up there and they're supposed to be for the people and by the people, but they're not. Okay. They're about themselves. And I think that as a group of people, we have got to come to some type of decision really quickly now because things are going down. We have really got to come to a decision. Are we going to come together for once and for all? Or are we just going to let it go? I just want to know because, see, you know me, I stay by myself. I don't get involved in a whole bunch of stuff. I am the chair of House of Reawakening Minds, and I'm trying to get everybody to come to some type of common ground, and with everybody so spread out, and doing their own things and saying their own things, by now we should be on some type of continuity in regards to the message that we're giving out. So, you know,
united front.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and our ancestors were counted as 3/5 of a person for political representations. You know, we don't know that, but not as citizens and not as people with rights. And I think if you read the 14th Amendment, if you read that, you'll see that they're like Noble Drawley said, there's no need for that. And then most people talk about the 13th Amendment, but they only had you 2 sections. It's 20. You know, so read all of that. The 13th, read it all, because they don't want you to know what's underneath. Okay. Yeah. And see, so even after emancipation, the law did not automatically, you know, restore personhood and land rights, because I know I'm from North Carolina. My ancestors were from North Carolina, Newton and Moxville. And I know that my I grew up on the farm, so I know they had land, but they didn't have mortgages. My mother and all her siblings, my aunts, they didn't have birth certificates. I think the birth certificate thing came out in 1933. Okay. And so, and then when you buy a house today, you all don't own the house. You be talking about, get off my property, get off my porch. That ain't your porch. You didn't read page 9. You know, you still a tenant. Okay. And if you wasn't, you wouldn't have to pay property taxes, which is illegal. We don't have to go into that tonight, but it is. Do your research on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a private call, private community call, because that's the I really want to get you in there, because we can really go places in there that we can't hear. But man, I'm gonna definitely get with you on that for sure.
Yes, and then when you go in and you fill out your paperwork and you're telling people, are you a U.S. citizen? Are you this, that? What do y'all do? Y'all go in there, y'all go boom. So even if the information that we're giving you and you're trying to digest, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? Well, you acquiesce to that. You believe that, just like the so-called money that's not money. I call them friends, okay? I don't call it money. I call them friends, because that's what they are. They're not backed by anything. I don't know if y'all listen to the news. I don't listen to TV. I haven't watched TV for 7 years now, but I go on YouTube. I go on YouTube and see what's going on. You know, I just those little 2 or 3 minute little reels or whatever. But when you do that, you find out a lot of things that, you know, they don't want you to know. Okay. And the word black in law, you know, again, a person has no rights also that the state to respect. I think that's the way Noble Drawley said that. And what that means is basically, you know, when you all get stopped or whatever, they look at you as a black person. And if you look in the dictionary here or any dictionary, you'll see what black really means. It means sully. It means demon. It means ugly. It means this. Okay. So that's what they gave us. All right. It says that, I think I put in the book that our people are placed in a non-national, non-inheriting legal status. Yeah. And if you don't know how to put your stuff into trust and stuff like that, then they're going to grab it, especially when we die. When we die, we don't have anything ready. Yeah. And that is my biggest thing. And I can honestly say that all of my ancestors died, or transitioned, as I like to call it. Most people think they're dead. They're not. They just transitioned on out of here. Right. But, you know, what do I want to say about that? It's you know, you got to have everything paid for. And and all you have to do is go to these funeral homes and tell them you want to do cremation or burial, whatever, and you can just pay on it. But don't wait and talk about GoFundMe. I don't know you like that. I'm not going to go fund nobody, you know, but our people are not ready for even that. And we all go in there some way and someday. Okay. So,
real quick, Mike, before we go forward, I apologize for interrupting, but I just wanted to clarify this, because a lot of the people, we got a lot of new members or new channel, you know, members and subscribers since the first time I had you on here, which, you know, was a minute ago. But can you share with the tribe how many, because you're what, a second, third, or fourth generation sovereign lineage? Can you kind of share just a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, again, I know where I come from. Like I said, my ancestors are from North Carolina. I've known who I was since I was a child, so it's not a big thing to me because I was able to have that knowledge about my ancestors and I knew, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I knew 4 of my grandmothers, my 2 maternal grandmothers, and then my 2 great grandmothers. And my 2 great grandmothers, both of them lived 103, and then the other one 104. So, I have a long, and we were called Cherokee in North Carolina, so, I was able to grow into that. And then, of course, when you grow up, you get married, you think you're supposed to go to the church, downtown to get the license to get married. So you get stuck in that, and so we just so convoluted. But it took me years to work all that out, so you have to know how to live over here in commerce, and you have to know how to live over here in private. And I want to tell everybody, especially the newcomers, try to not listen to information, but when you get it, write copious notes. Then after the conversation is finished, then you go back and research it for yourself. And if something is true for you, it's true for you. I'm not out here trying to make anybody believe anything I have to say. I don't want you to, because everyone has the capability and the wherewithal to go and research for themselves. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. And if anybody has any questions after this, I'll give you my email address. You can write me. I'll write you back, because this is my life. This is what I do for a living. This is what I do for my sons. I have tons of sons in Florida. They're not my birth sons, but they're my spiritual sons. And I treat them as my sons. I love them as my sons. So you're looking at one. So, so again, any new people out here, this is a lot. It's a mouthful. But if you just take the information, now slow down, because I get so excited about this, and just research for yourself. Like I said, you guys can see, I'm not kidding. I have books all over here. Okay. And no, I have not read every single book, but the way I was taught to read it by Bobby Hemmett many years ago was, whatever information you're looking for, you get the information, whether it's in a book or a PDF or whatever. Read that information you're currently looking for. And then he said, put the book down. And then he said, you will come back to that book at some point in your life, to look and see what it says again, if you're so inclined to. But that's how I read my books. I don't read everything at once. See? Okay. And then I think I told you guys about, when you say you're U.S. citizen, it's a federal, corporate subject. But the way you can go and look that up, Black codes in the Black Law Dictionary, page 214, if you want to look that up, about the federal corporate subject. Okay.
Can I, real quick, before you move forward, can I get you to repeat the website again so I can share that? Because I heard you when you said it, but I just want to make sure I get it right so I can share it in the comments for the time.
It's buythisbooktoday.com.
Okay.
And it'll be an N7P on Google. It'll say N7P, but it's www.buythisbooktoday.com.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see all the authors that I have on there. I'm on there, and then we have a music division who is run from Canada. So we have a pretty solid group that we all we do is just research and read, basically. And try to, and I don't follow people. I do my own thing, because I'm intelligent enough to know how to proceed. A lot of people just want to know, well, what shall I do? And how do I do? And blah, blah, blah. I do things. And then when I know how to do it, I can teach you how to do it. But I'm not going to sit up here and yak, and yah, and tell you something that I don't know anything about. Everything I tell you, I can prove. In my Black People Dead in Law book, I put all of my original memos for the Moorish mayors. They said that we are proclamations, that we are the Moors. And I have the original I have all originals with these seals. I called everyone. I used to follow RV Bay because they're very good on, it's almost like a depository of information. That's the only reason I went over there many, many years ago, over 10 years ago. But I called everybody that they had said had written a proclamation, and I called and got my own. I'm probably the only one that did that, but I have all of the original information. I started and did the one for Texas. See, I did it with the Senate here in Texas. So, and I have the original copy. It's in full length legal paper and binding. Okay, it's not in the 8x12 or 8x11, whatever this page is.
Sure.
So again, yeah. Well, when you know something, you can do it yourself. You don't need somebody to hold your hand. You just need the guidance and go and do it. You guys are younger than me. I'm 73 years old. Okay. Wow. So I don't have, I'm not going to say I don't have time because, some Indian guy told me years ago I was going to live to 300. So I believe that. Yes,
let's go. Look, shout out to Outcast and Andre 3000, man. They just got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And look, we're going to put you in the Ashe Hall of Fame at 300.
Yeah. So beyond all that, I'm looking forward to those. I just always ask the all. I call God what you guys call God, the all, because G's wasn't created until 1500. But anyway, I regress. I call my spiritual creator the all. So you guys can call her whatever you want to call her, and it's not a he. Who told you it was a he? It's the creator of all. That's why I say it's the all. So and I was kicked out of church at 12. So so again. I've always been that child. I know I'm protected and, all that kind of good stuff. But I just want you guys to know that you can do whatever you want to do. We need to get it done. It's legal, it's lawful, it's truthful. But see, when only one person out here telling the truth, what do? They kill you, or they debase you, or they threaten you.
Or they Dr. York you. One or the other. You're either going to get
Dr. York treatment,
or you're going to get, the and, whoever else treatment, unfortunately.
So what I need to know then, since we can agree, probably all of us can agree to that, is, so what do we do about it? The correction is not paperwork, okay? People be talking about paperwork. Trust me, I did the paperwork. I sent paperwork to everybody on this planet. But it made me feel good because I wanted them to know who I was, and I have proof of all of that, not just going out shouting and talking about we Moors, what? Yeah, you don't have to do all that and not just filing UCC documents and all that kind of stuff they used to do back in the day. Now, does all that stuff, did it have a purpose? Sure, it did. Does it have a purpose for us? No, it doesn't, because those are instruments that are used by the system, So unless, and there's different thought processes on that. I'm not here to bash what everybody thinks. I don't think for you, I think for myself. And this is what the conclusion I came to. Do I have a UCC filing paperwork? I sure do. You can go online and check it out for yourself. You feel me? Does it really work? Well, I never used it. I just did it because I felt like I wanted to do it.
Because you can. That's why. Because I can.
And that's another thing about me. I do things first. I'm not going to drag people with me down into the ditch. I always tell people, if you find me in the ditch, I threw myself in the ditch. You're not going to throw me in a ditch. Okay. And then when people get information, and if they go out half cocked and without the total, knowledge of the information, what happens? You get crushed, see, but you got to stand up. I had my name taken out for jury duty. I never voted in my life, but when you go and you get this instrument called the driver's license, if you have one, I'm sure most of you do. Then I think they automatically do it, even though you check no, because I found that out the last time I renewed that instrument. And I have to have it because I worked in corporate America for 28 years. I have my own business. You got to have it when you're working in commerce. Okay. See? Do I use my my Moorish ID? Yes, I do. Every chance I get, I know when to use it and when not to use it. I'm not going to go out here and start hollering and screaming and talking about, I'm a Moorish American. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to do that because, see, I'm a human being. I mean, not a human being, that's a monster, but I am me. Okay, that's it.
That's right.
Yeah, see, so those are the things that, you know, I put on there. So what do we do about it? I think what we should do about it is get ourselves together. Noble Jew, I laid the blueprint. We destroyed the blueprint. We all over the place. I am registered in North Carolina. I am registered in Chicago. Okay. And I do have my registration numbers. They are documented on my paperwork. It's not the paperwork that most people be thinking about. I registered under Noble Drew Ali's trust in Chicago. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I did it myself. Okay.
I love that.
And I did it myself in where I'm from. My ancestors are from in Newton, North Carolina. Okay.
I love that, and hopefully, because I'm gonna do my best to maximize this time, because I know we're both on tight windows. But I want to go back to Chicago. Shout out to Dr. Deborah Blair as well as Dr. Noble Drew Ali. But when it comes to, and this is something that I hear a lot, and I probably will end up trying to get with you and a few others to see if I could personally like spearhead or spearline something to do something about this. But when it comes to us retracing our lineage and like researching our ancestral heritage and cultural heritage, there's a lot of us out here who might not know, you know, who our father is or who our grandfather is, or who, you know what I mean, like on different sides of the family, or maybe even on the mother side of the family, the matriarchal side of the family. So is there any way that you can kind of share a little bit of knowledge of how those who don't have an intact family, you know, bloodline structural, I guess, you know, like trail to kind of follow, to research, to find out, you know, how deep our lineages goes and who we're connected to in terms of our indigenous heritage and cultural heritage?
Oh, well, yeah, only again, they're not going to be called that. They're going to be probably called Negroes. So even if you were able to find or go back and research that, that's what they're going to be called. Gotcha. They're either going to be called colored folks or Negroes. Okay. Gotcha. Even though they were so-called Indian or whatever, because you remember, those of you who knows that they took hundreds of thousands of children and threw them in boarding schools over in Europe and everywhere else. And these kids they were taken from their families, their mothers and fathers. They couldn't do anything about it. So you have a lot of people that don't even know or who knew their mother and father, who knew their family members, you know, and there's still people today. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm in my own business. I have a spa business now, and I talk to a lot of people every day. And I ask them, do you know your grandmother and your grandfather? 90% of them are saying no. Why? Because back in the day, people were married earlier. My grandparents were they were they were chosen to be together, whatever. And my grandmother was 13. He was 16. They were married for 65 years.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So they had these children. These children had children. The children knew the grandparents. Yeah. But now you're getting married at 30, 40, you know, and the grandparents are dead, are gone. Yeah. You know, so these people, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people don't and never knew their grandparents.
Yes. Yeah. It's a real thing.
Look at all the information that's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
See, and the reason I wanted to gather this is not frivolous stuff. This is all history. You know, from the 60s, because we don't teach our children anything about the 60s any longer. You know, they know nothing. Some of the adults don't know anything about the 60s. Black Panthers, they don't know anything about Black Panthers other than what the lies that have been told about them. You know, what it was about the Black Panthers. Because, see, I still have to deal with the Black Panthers here. They were my bodyguards and stuff when I did my last, in 2018, I did a show down here. It was one of the largest ones in the country, down at the Shape Center here in Houston, Texas. It was a triple light tour. I need to send you a DVD of that.
Please. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, you know, that being said, our people, we don't have the information. Civics. You know, what about civics? They don't tell you anything in civics. You know, the 8th grade math test that I have here that used to be given to 8th graders. High school kids and college kids can't tell me the answers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But that's intentional. It's strategy. It's war. They took all of that out of the schools for specifically and precisely because they didn't want generations of minds like yours to be coming through that know what to do, like know what's going on and knows what to do. So that's why they snatched it out of there.
Exactly. And so what I say is, what are we going to do about it? You see what I mean? Now, I know that there are maybe a couple or more schools around here, but how come with the technology we have, how come we can't supply that across the country? You know, why? How come we can't do that?
Yeah.
What's stopping us from really thinking outside the box? It's time.
Yeah.
You know, it's time. And if
I
we
think
don't
what you said
do it,
earlier, Ma, when you said about us getting together and like, you know, stopping the division and all that BS that, you know, that's going on, you know, and coming together, you know, but I think I think that's one of the main reasons why we haven't done it yet, because I don't know if it's ego or
it
superiority,
is. And that's another
God
thing
is
when
and
you
all
said that
foolishness.
ego, everybody that's on this podcast, I know they'll be dealing with you, but I require, if you're going to deal with me in any kind of shape, form of business or partnership or anything like that, you must read Paul Ryan's Ego is the Enemy. If you don't read that book, you have nothing to do with me. I'm so sorry. I love you, mean it, but I can't deal with it because we all have ego. And if you don't know how to control that ego in a situation or whatever, well, then it's not going to work. Everybody wants to be the chief. Who's going to run the show? I mean, how come we can't come to some type of common sense about it? You know, don't know what Drew Ali said, you know, we're not here to disrupt their government, but we have our own. There's 2 governments here. People forget that part.
Yes.
There's 2 governments here. And then people want to call themselves this and that and the other thing. Stop it with the titles. It don't mean shit. Excuse me.
No. Go ahead, Ma. Look. You the matriarch. This is a big mama's house. Go ahead.
About, what these people think. I mean, because it's true, or something's either true or it's not. So we need to drill down to that, and then if we're going to become responsible for knowing this information, what are we going to do about it, about correcting it? What are we going to do? I mean, there has to be a system, because new people coming with this knowledge, they're hungry. They're saying, God, I knew it was something in me that knew that I wasn't this, and I just knew it. Okay. So how do they get out of it? We got to have a way for them to get out of it, to be recognized, but I understand the shenanigans that we're up against. Trust me, because when you don't do what they say do, y'all seen it happen. They killed that guy, what they call Charlie Kirk, from that shit, just for speaking his mind about the truth, about genocide and all that kind of stupid stuff. See, but we have got to get our mind together that, hey, I'm not going to do this for y'all no more. I'm done. We have been slaves on this land and been abused by law and their statutes and codes. That's not common law. It's statutes and codes. There's a difference. Okay. And see, and the police that you call, what y'all call them, officers and all that kind of crap. No, they work for the mayor. They're see, but they done got out of control too. See, pulling folks out the cars and demanding this and demanding ID and you haven't committed a crime. But see, they know that people are dumbed down. They don't know the law. And see, that's why I came up with the title, Black people are dead in law. So when you start talking about, well, I have our rights and blah, 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 they look at you like you from Mars or a dragon with 10 heads. Because they know already you're not. Because you call yourself Black. That's what you put on your information. And it on your driver's license. That's what you are. Is it? Did you ever look at that?
Yeah.
You got your what? Your name in the caps. You got your birthday. You got what you are. You got a female or a male on there, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so soon as you present all that stuff, they look on there, they go, oh, they can treat you any kind of way. What did I say in the beginning? I said that they don't have to treat you respect you or anything, because you're dead in law and you're presenting them with a corporate piece of information. See?
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, that's real. And real quick, I got a question from the tribe. Shout out to Kiki Blunts. This was a great question, so I started to put it to the
Okay.
side. But and there's a ton of them out there, tribe. So y'all forgive me. I know I see all the other good ones too, but I want to bring this one to the floor because I felt like it was a valid question. So what are your thoughts on this one, Ma? Kiki Blunt says, my question is, why are we asking them to restore our nationality?
We're not, Kiki, sweetheart, we're not asking them to restore our nationality. You restore your nationality, okay? You do what's necessary to become who you want to be. If you want to be an L, you have the right to become an L or a Bay. Like I said, HJR 75, you get it from Philadelphia. It states on there and it's certified. They will send it to you. You have to pay for that, but they will send it to you certified. And it says on there that you have a right to have your name. It's already been established. So they're not giving, they don't want us to know what we are. So no, they don't give us our nationality. You give your nationality yourself. You proclaim your nationality. If you look up the word proclaim, it just says to act as if you know who you are. And Noble Drew Ali said, don't be trying to change stuff in their system, like your name. That doesn't belong to you. That's on the birth certificate and their social security documents. But add your L, do everything in your L or Bay name. And that's how you do that. There's no, they're not going to give you no nationality. They're not. We have it according to the law. But most people don't know it because they never seen it and they never read it. Okay. So no, if you want to go further than that, just, email me.
I share. Yes, yeah. And who was it? Kiki Blunts, and then join the Patreon community as well, because we definitely will be.
Yeah.
Get our schedule.
We can't talk on YouTube about stuff like, all that kind of stuff. These things, they're not gonna, they're not gonna do it. And we don't stick together for nobody to come over here try to prevent them from killing me. Okay. So
Whoa. I got some. Well, yeah. We got some forces though.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that there. We got some forces and some energies that that action in life.
You know how I roll, so we won't have to say that on here. Okay.
I had to kind of pump my brakes a little bit, but I'm looking at some things that
okay.
Trying to find out if you want to, man.
Yeah, see, we don't do that, but yeah, they're not going to give us our nationality. Our nationality is just to proclaim it. That's an individual thing. Okay. Yeah. So, and Noble Drew Ali, we have Act 6. He says, if you don't do anything else, and this is very, very simple. He said, just proclaim your nationality. Now you can proclaim a lot of ways. You can proclaim it. You can write, like, I don't even know if there's any newspapers, or you can put it online. Anything public notice. That's all it is. That letting folks know you know who you are and you act like that. Okay, but you leave everything. You have to learn how to live in commerce and private. So, and that's the thing that again, we need to get together so that all the folks can know exactly the road to take, because people be going down these crazy ass roads and be talking about, they want, and what reason I stay to myself, because the first thing the new people want to do, because they hear all this stuff, they want a house, they want a car, they want to know how to do this. Hell, you ain't even read a book. How you gonna, what are you talking about this material stuff for? That's not what we're about. We're about reclaiming our souls. I can give two shits about a car. My car is 2004. I paid cash for it back then. I don't, give these folks anything more than I have to.
No, that's right.
You see, but see, and then another thing, when you buy a car, there's a lot of stuff I can tell you about that. But what I learned on my own is about the MCO. When I got my car, it was used, so I knew that it wasn't gonna be an MCO, but I called Austin anyway, just for shits and giggles, and to find out, if this was true. And yes, it is. When you buy your car, you up there signing all that stuff, and you're giving them down payments. You're not supposed to give no down payment on no car. That's a law.
That's illegal. Isn't that illegal?
Yes. Most people don't know that. But okay, here, let me finish. And so, again, they be trying to take money from you and all that kind of stuff. But then I called and I said, okay, I'm just calling here to see if I can get a copy of my MCO for my car. And she said, what year is it, and brand and all of a sudden. So I told her. She says, well, no, ma'am. She says, let me see. Hold on. And I just held on. I'm saying she's going to go talk to somebody because nobody called up there to ask for them, especially a person. So she come back and she said, no, ma'am. She says, we actually destroy those after 3 months. I said, so you don't have no microfiche or nothing that says anything about this car? She said, well, we might, but she said, we destroy the MCOs. I said, oh, okay, thank you. Well, my purpose of calling was just to find out if this was such a thing as an MCO. You see? So I found out. So when you buy a brand new car, before you go and sign in all those papers and stuff, you ask is the car being delivered? Because see, what happens is the dealerships buy those cars and they keep the MCO, but they will keep them for a little time and then they send it to Austin here in Texas. So this might be a good thing for y'all to check out your MCOs when you buy a brand new car, if you're going to buy. And if anybody wants you to put a down payment on a car, I have the statute that you don't have to do that. It's somewhere around here in some of my books here.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna definitely have to get with you and see can we. I remember saying this after the first one, like it's been way too long, but Spirit was on me like, boy, you better get in touch with my boy. You better get your butt over there. You better talk to her because now is the time to be talking, like for real.
Yeah, and then
like, for real.
Yeah. See, and most of our people, we know we're not a color. Back in the day, like I said, I've been colored, I've been a Negro, I've been Black, I've been African American. And when African American came out, I think that was Jesse Jackson back in 86 or something like that. He the one that came up with African American because people was, getting upset being called Black. But see, Black was called to people not just in the 60s and up. It was even called Black people over in Europe a little bit, I think in 1886 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. See, and then whenever there's about 15 states here on this continent that destroyed us. Seneca, where is Seneca? They're underneath the Central Park. Black Wall Street. I mean, one of the wealthiest, I hate to say Black, but, melanated states or people, Oklahoma. They burned and killed all of us. What was that place in North Carolina?
Rosewood.
Yeah, that, Rosewood. All that. And, I mean,
the MOVE movement, and a lot of people don't know about the MOVE movement with Phil Africa and them in Philly. I think that was like 86?
86, 87, yeah.
It's a lot. See?
It's a lot. So I can understand why we're sort of gun shy on getting together. I would imagine. I don't know if that's the reason, but every time we do, that's what happens. I think we have to come up with something different, another strategy to free ourselves, because actually we are still slaves. I don't care what you want to say. We're slaves without the chains, because we still have the mindset. So,
I didn't want to interrupt, but you took it from me. I was going to say it starts here. Like it starts right here.
Yeah.
Once we get through here, that we are the children of the all, and we have the ability to tap in and utilize and manifest and direct the power of the all.
Yeah, see, I wrote that right here. I said the all. Yep.
Cancel all that bullshit. It's a wrap.
That's it. That's a wrap.
All of us to get there, or even just a good percentage of us to get there.
Yep. I said the all will not change the condition of a people until the people change what is in themselves. That part. Okay. So if you want to rise from civil death, then we got to rise together, because that's the only way they're going to understand some stuff. They're not going to understand these little fringe groups. We've had fringe groups for hundreds of years, So, I just decided, I said, hey, look, I'm a make a hole in all this as much as I can while I'm here. And then hopefully somebody behind me, the children coming up will have some type of knowledge that they know they're not colored folks, Black people, and all this other kind of crap. It's enough. It's enough. We still talking about it.
Yeah.
You're still talking about it.
Tell you what, we behind you and we here and we got our boots on. We ready. Like we ready. And,
well, we
alone.
need to talk offline because they hear everything we say.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. We don't have any type of production servers. We don't have anything like that. We're still connected here. So it's hard to really get anything without someone infiltrating or, just being an ass about, oh, well, that's not true. Okay. What are you involved for then? Yeah. I hate whiners.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate whiners.
And I want to share this with you. And these are just my thoughts, but this is something I shared with the tribe, I think Sunday, in the private community call. But one of the things that I feel like that we can use and utilize to like really detour that is working on telepathy and getting together with groups and us remote viewing or remote, meditating, and then really strengthening.
Now is the time
to be able to telepathy ping off of each other through telepathy, because we have access and gifts and powers that we have no idea how powerful we really are. If we watch that series, Supercell, they shared a lot of what I feel like is to come, or really what's happening now.
Oh, yes, it's happening now because, like I said, the Blue Kachina is coming. My grandmother told me about that. And I have a two feelings about that right now.
Can you share something? Can you enlighten us about that?
Yeah, I'm fixing to, but I'm gonna tell you my caveat to that too, because I know what the others are trying to do. Okay, they're trying to continue to control this planet, but it's not going to happen. My grandmother said that when the Blue Kachina presents itself in the sky, she said that is going to be the warning of us for humanity, because we have gotten to the point where we are just disgusting to the universe. She said every 2,500 years we go to a new section. She said it'll be one day you'll see the Blue Kachina because we'll be in a different part of the universe. She said you'll see all kinds of things in the sky, weird things. She said, but when the Blue Kachina comes, she said, it is a warning. And she said, if humanity doesn't get right, she said, then the brothers will come. I don't know if she meant the melanated brothers or she just meant brothers, but that's all she said. She didn't say they were black, white, green, and blue. She just said the brothers will come. And that's what she said. And I've been living with that my entire life. She said, when it happens, she said, it'll be so awful here. She said, the blood in the street will be high as a horse's neck. So, I don't know what all that means, but that she said when the Blue Kachina comes. Now, the reason I'm mentioning the Blue Kachina, because I've been looking at the 3-eye atlas that they saying is out there, which I want to believe, but then I don't right now, only because I know what their 2027, 2030 plan is. So I'm like, no. And I can say that because I have been visited before. Y'all know that. So I'm not interested in, what people got to say about, none of that. But what I am saying is they said it turned blue at the perihelion when they went to, behind the sun and came back. They said that it turned blue and it was a chrism blue. And then when they said that, I went, blue, what turned blue, Y'all can go on YouTube and find it. Look, it says it turned blue. So what did that signal to me? I was like, oh my God, my grandmother said something about blue. So I started looking at it, but then I said, Cynthia, well, they know all those prophecies too. Maybe they just trying to get us, But I give all that to the all because I know what's coming. That's it. And I know who was first will be last. Who's last will be first. And look at Africa rising. Motherland is coming up. I mean, coming up. And who started it? Traore. He's 35, 36 years old, the youngest president on the planet Earth. And look what he did. And look what he's doing. He brought back all the gold, all the uranium, all the seeds. He threw out Bill Gates GMO stuff. I mean, I just cried. I just boohooed and cried. I said, oh my God, I gotta go back to Africa. I gotta go to Ghana. I gotta
go. Okay, we reloaded.
Yeah. Because we used to build water wells over there. My name is over there. I have the sign right here. But Yeah, we used to go over there. You know what? The women would walk 7, 8, 10 miles just to get a bucket of water. Sometimes they walked that and did not get a bucket of water. And, you know, they have to wash in the 5-gallon buckets, cold water, hot water. If they can't get hot water, it's cold water in the morning. See, we get up, we taking 2-hour showers and, you know, turning on the water, let it run and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that anymore. I get in, get the heck out, because I understand there are people on this planet. It's the misappropriation of man that causes lack on this planet, that allow these people to suffer. And then now you want to be big and bad, talking about you're going to bomb somebody because you no longer have access to their resources. And see, and another thing we don't understand what Troy did, he nationalized the money. He nationalized all of his food. He nationalized the gold. He nationalized all of his minerals and everything over there that the French was getting for decades. See, and I remember something my mama used to always say, and I used to always wonder why. Whenever we would get food and we wouldn't eat it all, she would always say, "Oh, eat all your food because the kids in Africa doesn't have anything to eat." And I would always say, "Well, why don't they have anything to eat?" But see, that's been going on over there. And you know what they said about Africa? Oh, they lazy, they this, they that, while they were siphoning off all the money, all the minerals and everything, having the children work in these mines and things over there. The diamond mines, they nationalized that. Remember, what's his name? De Beers or whatever. Mm-hmm. Over there for decades. And people so obsessed about a daggum engagement ring. I better not see none of y'all with no damn engagement ring on. That was a blood diamonds, okay? Because diamonds wasn't even a big deal, because it's not in the sense of other minerals and other, you know, stones. Okay, but they made it out of a big thing so that they could make money. You see, so now they took that back. So everybody's going haywire over in the UK. And yeah, see, because why? We have these people in these positions that are not caring about the people at all. They care about themselves and what they can accomplish and what they can, you know, gather up for themselves, living all these lavish lifestyles, $100,000 dinners for what? But you got vets living on the street.
Yeah, they're parasites. Okay. They're feeding off of the energy of all of the people.
And that's what the Archons are doing to us. Anytime you get angry, anytime your mind is spinning about negativity, anytime you're doing it, just stop and count to 10 and release that, because everything you think is not what you're thinking. People think that down here, but it's not. So anytime your mind get busy, just stop. Okay. And just take a 10 minute, you know, reset. And that's it. So, you know, I just love you guys so much. And my heart is just so full of just hope that you guys take the reins and run with it, because I got your back, you know. But we also got to have security. That's another thing I've been talking about is security. Because see, I'm gonna tell you something is coming. I want y'all to listen very carefully. Whenever the shit hit the fan, who's gonna protect us? Who's gonna protect you? Do you have protection? Are you ready? Do you have water? Okay. Do you have food? Do you know how to cook food? See, that's another issue I have with the women here now. Okay. Like I said, I'm an executive chef, so I can talk about it. All right. I asked them, do you cook? No, I don't cook. You know how to cook? No, my husband cooked. Okay. Do you know how to can? No, never seen it. Okay. So you can can a whole year's of food in less than a month. And that lasts for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. It depends on what you're canning. But you got to know how to do these things. If your husband is on the front line protecting the family, something happens to him, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold his back? Can you hold his back? No, you can't, because you ain't never shot a gun in your life. And you don't want to know, oh, I don't want to go. I'm a weapons trainer. I never pulled a gun on anyone. But when I pull a gun on you, trust me, you will be shot. Okay? That's it. Okay, I've been shooting since I was 9. My grandfather, that's what we used to do back in the day. My grandfather taught me. I was driving when I was 9 on his lap. Driving, see? But when we grew up, our parents didn't care where we was until the lights came on outside. At 10 o'clock, we got a little announcement. Parents, do you know where your kids are? You see? So we're resilient in that regard. You can't do it nowadays because, see, they'll snatch them up and kill them. But we kept our doors open to the mid-70s. We never locked our doors. We never locked our garage. Nobody took our toys. And then during Halloween, they started poisoning the kids, putting razor blades and all this other stuff.
Needles.
So my kids never got an opportunity to go Halloween, whatever they used to do, because I didn't believe in it anyway. But you know how kids are. They at school, they want to do what the kids do. But I told them, I said, no, we're not doing that. And I never allowed them to do it. I bought them their candy. They had a little candy at school, and because I had them in private school, they had a little candy in school. That was it. But they never went out trick-or-treating. Because I thought it was demonic, to be honest with you.
And it is. That's exactly what it is.
What are we celebrating? Exactly. You know, I don't mind doing things if I know the reason behind it, but what would be the reason behind ghouls and scary crap? And, you know, the kids are little, some of them are scared. I mean, what's the purpose? But see,
it's elevating death culture, which is exactly what these barbarians and what these parasites do.
There you go, son. I was just fixing to say that. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So,
yeah, it's real.
So, you know, I just think that we just really we need something that where we can coalesce together to get things done so that we all know and they know who we are, not just, but if you go to the, what's that, the Southern District law people in down there in California, I'm not in California, in Newton, North Carolina, they are the worst. Yeah, they and see, and I have to give that thought a little bit of credit, only because back in the day we could have our own driver's license, we did have our own tags. That's the truth. But what happened? All these ninjas started going and squatting in homes and telling people, well, when they got stopped, well, you know, I don't have to do this and I don't have to do that. You know, that's not the way to communicate. Noble Drew Ali said, what you do, you talk in a civil tone to people. People will listen. I've never had no problem. I go down to the courthouse. They know who I am. They treat me with dignity and respect. Why? Because I treat them with respect. You see? So I let them know who I am. They don't have a problem with that. When I come, the judge, she knows me. She knows that whatever I present to her is correct. She sends me over to her assistant because they don't want the people to know what's going on. Okay. So you have to develop those. Yeah, well, you have to develop those relationships, and it's about being friendly, just like you would be friendly if you met me or whoever. It's like, hey, you know, I'm here to give you this. So I need this to be filed. And they say, well, you don't do. Yeah, you do. And if you don't do that, we'll go get your manager so that we can just talk about what you have a right to do. And they don't know. They don't see. These are gatekeepers, and so you don't have to go in there shaking your head and twisting your neck and stuff. There, just talk to them. Hey, this here. Let me show you this statute code. Let's read it together. Or if you don't want to have time, bring the manager so that I can get this handled today. And I'm smiling and talking in a nice civil tone. I'm not going in there talking about, hey, well, you know, when you said it did it. No. But see, when you do like that and you play dumb too, they love you. They do. They take you and they just, oh, here, let me help you with that. You have to do this and you put it here. I have proof of all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to be friendly, you know.
But you have to know who you are, and you don't. You can't have the fear of saying, well, oh God, I'm so scared. I'm not going to do it. But here's the deal. And this, when you cross over this line, then you're going to know that you are who you say you are. When you're approached by one of them and you get through it with intelligence, you're going to be free. I don't care what nobody else say. I operate in total freaking freedom. Yeah. You don't own me. I don't care what your paperwork say. You don't own me. So you going to diss my paperwork? They didn't.
That part.
So I work by myself. I don't work. I listen to everybody and I articulate what they say. And then I go and I do my own research. If something is true for you, then it's true for you. If it's not, then it's not. You know, that's it. And until I can find a group of people that want to do something, I'm by myself. I'm good over here. I mind my own business. And you know it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, listen,
but there's a
you
lot
gotta,
of we can do.
you got a tribe here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, I ain't never been scared of none of it.
No.
I put that on everything. Like I came here to go, and
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And another thing, the way you guys sign your name into, always block that out, okay? Because when you put it in brackets, they can't see it, and that's just a legal thing, okay? I don't care what you sign because that's not you, okay? First of all, and then I always put authorized representative right up under it because it's not you. You are the real person. This is fictitious, you know. All your little checks and all that stuff, y'all be writing your name and signing, you know, and you don't sign your name all capitals, do you? See how we done mixed all that stuff up together. It's all mixed up.
Yeah.
So you gotta protect yourself. And they can't see that in law. That's you can figure that out yourself too. It's the truth. Yep. And also there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. We can do just legally and lawfully. Because again, you know, 16th Amendment was never ratified. I have the books here. They're about $4,500 a piece. Why? Because it has all the congressional signatures of it not being ratified. And that has to do with the IRS. Let me show you. Oh, hold on. And then we got to get off because you got to go get your son.
Yeah. Listen. I love it, man. I love the energy.
Here it is.
Hold on.
And there, y'all can look it up. And you can go look at it. If you can find them, good luck. I got volume 1 and volume 2, and they're running about $4,500. I bought these years and years ago. Okay.
And boy, it ain't what they say. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. Boy,
Yeah.
that ain't never been more realer than right now, boy. Oh, boy. Because this is the time, though. Like this is Judgment Day. Like this is the creme de la creme. We're here now at what everybody was prophesizing, Nostradamus and all that other bullshit. Like, this is now. This is now happening right now. This planet will never be the same as it was before, after this time frame now, ever again. Ever.
Yep. No, it won't. Okay. So again, I just hope that all the people who are really looking into this and wanting to study and stuff start with real civics, you know, real civics, because you never learned it in school. And it's a whole lot of information. Oh, I know which one. Oh, I wanted to tell you too, right quick. This is a good book for you to get.
What's the name of that one?
The Nature Knows No Color Line.
Got you. Nature Knows. What's the author? Author?
I.A. Rogers. J.A. Rogers.
Okay. Nature Knows No Color Line.
Yeah, this is a good book. And then this one, for all the money, y'all people out there, y'all need to get this. I bought 12 of these about 10 years ago. And then the author, he signed mine. See?
What's the name of that one?
So get this. Creature from Jekyll Island. The Creature from Jekyll Island. It tells you, it's the 5th edition, Edward Griffin. And it tells you what happened to the money, how we started using paper dollars that's not backed by anything.
What was that author's name?
Is G. Edward Griffin.
Okay.
Griffin.
Got you. Appreciate it. And you know what? Is that the book that was used as the inspiration of that movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, read it. Look, you see how big it is? You see all my tabbies on it? Yeah, see?
Wow.
This tells you the whole sordid story, and it still exists to this day, what they're doing. And to see, and what people don't know, and I'm just going to say it because it's the fucking truth, the Fed is not federal. It's not a federal agency. See, in the U.S. you can go to Wilmington, Delaware, and pull down all the corporation things. I have it here somewhere. I just didn't pull it out. But pull down all the corporations. The U.S. got all kind of corporations, LLCs and stuff. The government has been dissolved. It tells you in here when it was dissolved. That was in what, 1933? See. But see, people don't want to spend the money on books. That's why they've destroyed so much information too on the planet. But our ancestors are coming back. and they're coming back full force. I believe it. I thank my all that I will be here to see it. And
They
I
are
hope,
here.
yeah, because
They're here,
again,
Ma. And you will be here because
yes,
I'm telling you, it's now. I won't go into. I personally, like you said, contact D. I personally have been getting a lot of downloads, a lot of verification and confirmation.
yes.
So
I get them.
it's
You know, I
now.
wake up every day at 333. See, most people don't. I have 333. The universe gave me that, and then the 13. So, so both of them, I've been having them on for over 25 years. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's even deeper divine alignment because I had a moment with 333 today. It was 3:33 p.m. But I mean, so on my
you'll be
time, 5
quiet.
hours ago, and it's 8:08 right now. So that's confirmation to me from
Yes.
a higher level. Like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is so much information to have to go through, and I hope that it wasn't too convoluted. But again, whatever little pearls you can pick up out of it, pick it up. Anything that you really want to ask me about that's going to help you do anything or find some information, go ahead and email me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I work every day. I'm off on Friday. That's holy day. I never work on Fridays, or Sunday or Mondays.
Ashe. That's what's
Ashe.
up.
All
Well, I
right.
tell you what, I give grace, gratitude, and the utmost, just thanks, for even you coming through and sharing and dropping, the wisdom that you did on us tonight. And I know it's, a little past the time that we spoke about, but if
Yeah,
there's anything, listen, if you could leave us with anything, I mean anything that's on your spirit and your heart, man, I give thanks right now before.
Well, the only thing I like I said, the only thing that's on my heart is that, again, we need to change our condition as a people, as a culture, and we need to do it together. We can't do it alone. But at the same time, this is 2025. And all truth to be revealed. This is the time you could feel the energy. You could feel the shift in the consciousness of the people. They're awakening, and they're not going to take this shit anymore. We're done. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Okay, I'm just waiting for somebody to want to do something. Anybody that don't want to do nothing, they want to talk, yik yak, and all that kind of stuff. Leave me out of it. Okay, that's all I got to say. And I love you guys so much, and thank you for your time tonight, son. It's always a pleasure. I don't do these often. I got so much on my plate, but anytime my son says something, I try to get on here and do a little bit, but I'm not that person either. I'm not a title person. I'm not, I don't do all that. I just get in here and do the job and get some stuff done. I got a lot of things on my plate. I'm doing the memoirs for Taj Tariq Bey. I'm writing that right now. Trying to get that done before at least one book before the first of the year, but I'm thinking maybe 3 volumes or more, but I'm just trying to get the information from the elders, in writing. So that's why I write. I'm a writer. And I used to write for the Olympics too, by the way, y'all. So
yes, my mom's got a decorated resume, man. Decorated. Yeah. So, I'm telling you, like, look. And I got the same energy, like the titles and all that, because I feel like that feeds that beast of the ego that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I always used to tell people, all these people, the managers and stuff, I would tell them, hey, that don't mean nothing. That means that you have people under you that are counting on you to help lead the way. I said, that's it. It don't mean that you go in and hollering and screaming at people, acting like a damn fool,
Yes,
But anyway, son, you better go get your baby.
Yeah, I will. But listen, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna leave it on this note. When you said you're waiting for some people that's ready to go, we here. So I'm gonna quote John Legend. Shout out to my boy 3 Stacks one more time. We ready. We got the green light. What that? Give me the green light. We ready to go right now. We ready to go right now.
That's what I need right there. Is that somebody that's ready to go, but we got to go correct. Okay, and it has to be done when everybody knows who they are, what they are. And we have proof. I got all the proof I need because, again, I did it for me. I can, it can be done, but it has to be done in a way where everybody can do it. I don't follow leaders. Okay. I'm a leader. I do not follow anyone, but you have to have a path to follow. Okay. So if I do it, I can now say, hey, this is how I did it. You can do it too. Okay. See, but there's no written path. There's no path for everyone to be able to do it. So that's what we got to develop and figure out. I don't mind talking about it to anybody.
Sure. Well, yeah, I'm gonna definitely get with you and see what we can get back on here whenever schedules permit, but definitely in the private community as well, because I know we can always go all the way in and there. So I give gratitude and thanks. Like I said, it's been way too long, but I definitely appreciate you for making this happen, for us in the tribe, man. And we're ready. We're ready. So I'll get with you, off here so we can see what we can do.
Yeah. And then, like I said, everybody can do the same thing at the same time. And I think that's more powerful than one person out there trying to do something, and then they can be crushed, and then you have to start all over again. And that's where we are as a culture and a people. We have to always start all over again because of some foolishness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but call me.
Collaborators will not be tolerated.
No, it will not. Yes, so,
yeah. Off with his head. Literally.
Guillotine with you. You
playing,
a witch.
Not playing. Not playing.
Right. See, but they crush the feminine, the divine feminine. See,
not around here.
That's who has to rise. We have got to rise. It's our time.
Yes,
it's our time.
And I'm here to provide the launch pad, because we land here ready to go, and I ain't by myself either, boy.
And the reason that I have the 13th and then I'm out of here is that they left out the 13th zodiac sign. It's Ophiuchus. And I'm writing about him too. I'm doing some stuff about him because they left him out because it was for the divine feminine. See, they just took him right out, and he goes between November, December. And see, and women has 13 periods a year, but most people say, "Oh, I only have one for every month." No, you don't. You got 13. Check it out. It's every 28 days. See, that's another thing. See, but it's the divine feminine. We're rising back up, taking over, like it was supposed to be in the beginning.
And she got some warrior sons here that's making for goddamn sure ain't nobody gonna rock with her or touch with her. So hey, so let that marinate. Like I said, I came here to go, and look.
Yeah.
Ready to go right now. Yep. Give me the green light.
You go get my grandbaby and quit running your mouth. My grandbaby out there talking about where my daddy at. Out in the dark.
Oh man, it was amazing. I appreciate you though, for real, mama. We gotta do it again. I'll definitely be in touch because the tribe went crazy, and look, I'm going crazy too.
Well, I love you guys so much. Don't ever forget that.
Right. So I'll definitely talk to you soon. Tribe, okay. Well, I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. We out, family. Peace. Odabo.
Okay. Bye.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ntẹ́ ní takisa ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe nígbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors and praise your